Today's video should be about my mindful eating project and my week 7 that I have been doing my mindful eating project. However, it is not going to be that kind of video because I was a bit shaken today when I came to work and I had this great urge to explain to you all, or maybe not explain, but to tell you about what happened, and maybe you will see yourself in my story. My name is Basswood, and my channel is about fasting, prolonged fasting to be exact. So it could be anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. And I am also really passionate to be talking about our health in general and what nutrition does to our health. However, today I am going to talk about what happened to me when I came to work today. When I came through the door of our corporate building, my receptionist, who has an office or table or whatever you call that, in front of my office, she was standing outside of the building, and she went behind me or after me when I clocked in, and when I looked at her, I saw that she was crying, and I was stunned because she is a very professional older woman, and I have never seen her so upset. And when I asked her what happened, she told me that my colleague had died yesterday. And this colleague has been with me for the past 18 years when I have been at this corporate job. Now, granted, we have not worked together a lot. However, in this last year, she was she was in charge of dealing with the post, and my office is just behind the receptionist, and it is also partly, let's say, a postal office. And this colleague of mine managed her post in, let's say, half an hour when we came to work each day. And she has been sick for the past month. She never told me what happened because she was a pretty private person. But we talked a lot, and she was about, I think, 10 years older than me. And we talked about our health a lot. We talked about, our problems with our children, even though her son is quite older than my two boys. But even though I think that we made a connection in this past year, even though that we have known each other for the past 18 years, and her death was very, very sudden. Nobody knew why she had gone to the sick leave or on sick leave, and the last thing that I heard of was that she didn't know when she will be coming back. And today, my receptionist tells me that she is no longer with us. Um, it was a shock, to tell you the truth. It was such a shock that I sat in my office for about 10 minutes, not turning on my computer, not even turning on the lights, and I was just staring into the wall in front of me, and I was thinking, how? She was here a month ago. She was with us. She was smiling. She was drinking coffee. She was talking to everybody. She was a very kind person, and now she was gone. But what prompted me to do this video was what happened afterwards. Our receptionist, as I said, is a really kind and very professional lady. I think that she is my colleague's age, so she should be somewhere about 56. Um, but what shocked me that even though I have the door to my office was closed, I could hear everything. I always hear everything what's going on outside, and I usually turn on the radio, or I usually I don't know, listen to a podcast or something like that. But today, I didn't feel like having any distractions with my thoughts. And what happened next was so incredible. The receptionist, who was her friend, let's say, because they talked much more than we did. They drank coffee together, you know, they were going outside. My receptionist is also a smoker, so she was not, but she was drinking coffee with her when they were on their coffee break or their cigarette break. And this woman, who I really like and admire, and she's very professional. She lost some points with me today because every person that came in after me, she told about death. And it was just like, have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? It was not something gentle as, you know, as I would imagine. It was, she ran after one person because she had a telephone to tell them and to pull them back from the stairs and tell them because she missed them and she couldn't tell them when they walked through the door. And I was astounded. And I really, really didn't like it. So after 10 or 15 minutes of just repeating the same sentence, have you heard? Have you heard? Have you heard? She died. She died. What happened? I don't know. You know, she couldn't just wait to tell anybody or everybody. It didn't matter who came through the door. Was it the president? Was it the lonely, I don't know, cleaning lady? It didn't matter. She had to tell everybody. And my colleague was a very personal woman, not personal, but was a private, very private woman, and she was working in accounting also with alongside with her postal duties. So she didn't. Not everybody in the firm knew her, but today she was a star of our firm, just because of our receptionist. And I was so disappointed and I was so hurt because it was not to mourn her and miss her, it was because of drive for attention. And this was bothering me so much. And when I went out to get my tea, my hot water for the tea, another colleague of mine just asked me, have you heard? And I said, yes. And I didn't want to talk about it. And she was just, I can't believe it. You know, she was just dragging on the conversation. I just couldn't deal with it. And I knew that this colleague was not, she meant well. But I also knew that she's the kind of person, because I worked with her for 10 years, that she's the kind of person that she's going to be horrified for about 5 minutes. And afterwards, she's going to turn on her computer and she's going to work like nothing happened and not give another thought about what happened. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's probably a good thing not to dwell on bad things that happen. But my point, what I'm trying to tell you is that I didn't know my colleague as well as I should have, let's say. But I did, she bought me this beautiful flowered candle for my birthday, and I lighted that candle today, even though we are not supposed to have candles in our firm. I lighted that candle and it was burning for the whole of time that I was at work. I didn't want to speak to anybody about what happened because I felt that my receptionist has done my work for me, or not my work, but you know, she has informed everybody. And I didn't want to share with the gossip what happened. Why didn't she come to work? Why didn't she tell anybody? Who cares? She was a private person. She didn't want everybody to know. Or maybe there were some other circumstances that we are not aware of. But what I'm trying to tell you is that um, there are obviously three types of people in this world, as I've found today. And one of them, the first one, they just want to, I don't know, be um, spread their attention, be as important as they can be. It doesn't matter what the information they are sharing. And the other one, the other type of person that I've discovered today is somebody who is going to be acknowledging, and they're going to talk about it, but then they're going to forget and get on with their lives. However, I was deeply moved by the death. I don't know why, but when I came home, I hugged my husband, first of all, and then my children, and we sat down and and I told them how privileged I am to be part of their lives, and how fuller my life is because of them. And even though the day is not over yet, and they are still at the practice and at the gym, I know that today we are going to start our tradition, the first tradition. We already have a tradition of each parent sitting down with each boy and asking them what their grade is for today. So how can they grade their day? And usually with my youngest, it's a 10. It doesn't matter what happened. Even if there was cold, and even if they had a bad day, it's always a 10. My oldest is a little bit more conservative with that, and he has a 9 or 9.5. But he has a lot of 10s also. Today, we are going to start a new tradition, and today we are going to be grateful. I've spoken about this to my youngest yesterday, and he said, "Mommy, how can I be grateful if I had a really, really bad day?" And I told him, it doesn't matter how bad the day can be, you can always be grateful for something. It can be for the sunshine, it can be for your health. He's 8 and he cannot be he cannot know what the gift of health really means, but he can be grateful for a smile that he got from his teacher, or that confidence that he and his friend exchanged, or how beautifully he calculated or scriptured something into his notebook. There are so many things that they can be very grateful for. And with us as adults, I think that we can find even more, not just 3 things that we can be grateful for, but even more things. Everything from our health to our relationships to our kids to having a roof over our heads, to having, fire in our fireplace, to have food to put to the table, to have as much food that we are not getting hungry, and to have, and for our paychecks to be that much that we do not want for any more, or we can survive and even thrive with the money that we get from our working. So there is so much to be grateful for, and this is the point that I was trying to get across today. If you had a bad day, if you had such an experience as I did today, just think about it. There are not a lot of people. I know that there are gratitude journals and everything like that. You don't have to write it down. It is better to write it down, of course, but you can just tell yourself or people around you what you are grateful for. If people who are part of that gratitude hear about it, they can start viewing the world differently through happier eyes. And today, when I set my youngest to the practice, I told him that he can, watch out for things that he can be grateful for. He got the ball when they were playing, or I don't know, he found his shoe, he could tie his shoelaces because he still has problems with that. And he can be proud of that. And there are so many things. And if you cannot see um, the light and the gratitude that we can all have, it doesn't matter how bad our day was, then I think that this practice would do you some good. So take a notebook, take a piece of paper, and write down 3 sentences. Uh, what happened to you today that you are grateful for? It can be that you were woken by the birds, you were woken by the sunshine, or even rain on your window, but something that you can connect with. And tomorrow, do the same exercise. And the day after that, do it again. And see if after a month you feel any different. Because I think that there is not enough gratitude in our world. And if we would be grateful for what we have, I think that we wouldn't need to put ourselves out there to be important by spreading the gossip. We would be facing inwards and trying to find as many things to be grateful for that day or in the future. So, this is the thought that I'm leaving you with today. I am sorry if I was a bit not myself today, but I still have some things to process. I will be better next week. But either way, thank you very much. If you had endured this far, thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your time. And next Friday, I promise, I will tell you what my week 7 of my mindful eating project looked like. Bye for now.